Hello again, everyone. This is Chris, and in this video, we are going to discuss the top 5 mistakes that people commonly make while gambling in the casino. We're going to break them all down, and you'll also want to make sure and stick around to the end for a very important bonus tip that will definitely help you become a better gambler. With that being said, let's get to it. Did you know that the casino industry spends millions of dollars every year studying human psychology and behavior? There is even a facility, believe it or not, in Las Vegas designed specifically for this purpose. It's a fully functioning clone casino, if you will, and they utilize this to really understand us more and our tendencies more as humans than we really understand ourselves. And it's with this information that they have, compounded by the odds in the casino, that really creates a very difficult situation to navigate as a gambler. And that's why it's very important to come to the realization that regardless of what happens short term, in the long run, you will not beat the casino. It's just not possible. However, having as many tools as you can fit into your tool belt before you walk in really does put you in the best possible position to maximize your visit. And that's going to feed us into number 2. A casino is basically a big room full of traps. And it's our job to A, realize that before we ever walk in, and B, figure out the best possible way to navigate around those traps. The best way I've personally found to do this is by having a plan. And my plan goes like this. I set hard boundaries for myself. What's my budget? How long will I gamble? What machines will I play, etc. And this really helps me insulate myself from all of those traps. It's like this. I view the casino on a cruise ship like it's a premium entertainment option. And the reality is, some folks are willing to spend more than others for that option. But it's really up to you to set your own boundaries that you are comfortable with and you can afford. And I'll give you an example. I'm a humongous Metallica fan, and I've spent what others may consider to be an absolutely ridiculous amount of money to go see them in concert. But for me, that's an amount of money that I can personally afford, and I'm willing to trade for what I personally consider to be a very fun and exciting experience. And gambling is really no different than that. Again, though, if you make the choice to gamble, just make sure to only spend what you are willing and you can afford to trade for the experience. When you do that, you've taken a huge step toward insulating yourself from all the traps that you're going to encounter, and that will help you in the long run. A very common mistake a lot of folks make while gambling is they're paying attention to what's happening around them and thinking that the reason it isn't happening to them is because they must be doing something wrong or different. It's this mentality of that person seems to always be hitting a bonus, or there goes another person hitting a jackpot, or this person next to me is betting higher than me and they seem like they're getting more action. I need to change my bet and that'll happen to me too. The reality is nothing happening around you matters. These are just some of the traps I referred to earlier. Remember the human psychology and behavior. Casinos are designed to be loud, they're flashy, they have bells and whistles going off. There's this sensory overload that's happening that is drawing your attention away from what you're doing, and you're thinking, hey, something is happening over there. Why won't it happen over here? The only thing that should matter to you is what's happening to you. Do not fall for these traps. You literally could have two people sitting next to each other and they're going to have different results, even if they're playing the same machine at the same bet amount. It's just gambling. That's what happens. And I'm going to dive more into that with mistake number 4. There's not a lot of certainties in life, but one thing I am pretty certain about what I'm about to say is this one is going to get some spicy comments. So let's get controversial. Here's the deal. Rubbing the screen, slapping the button, turning up the volume, having your player's card in, having your player's card out, playing in the morning, playing in the evening, playing at the beginning of the cruise, playing at the end of the cruise, etc., etc. None of this matters, and it has zero effect on the machines. Machines are designed with what is called a random number generator, and it is constantly cycling through millions upon millions of combinations every single second. When you press the button, the fraction of a second that it takes to do so will determine which one of those millions of combinations the machine's going to show you. It is pure 100% luck, and it has absolutely nothing to do with all of the things that I listed above. You cannot influence a slot machine, no matter what you may believe. Now, having said that, you gamble how you want to gamble, and you believe what you want to believe. It's your money, and I'm certainly not someone that has the right to tell you what to do with your money. But just understand, especially for all you new gamblers out there, none of this matters. It's all luck. That's it. If you don't have the ultimate goal of having fun while gambling, to be very frank, you just shouldn't do it. If you don't set the proper expectations when you choose to go gamble during your cruise, the reality is you could ruin your vacation, not only for yourself, but for those you're selling with. And additionally, if you're focusing solely on winning and losing, this leads to making some very bad decisions. One specifically being starting to chase your losses. And this is where it leads down the very slippery slope of problem gambling. I've seen people do this, and I've also seen people react in so many different ways, most of the time with anger. I've seen them take it out on the casino staff, which is definitely not cool. You know, the thing you have to remember with all of these decisions that you're making is they are your decisions. So it's your fault, nobody else's. You know, the reality is I've made every single mistake I've listed here, with the exception of getting angry and taking it out on the casino staff. I would never do something like that. But of all of the things I've listed, this is the mistake I've made the most. There have been many times over the course of my 2 decades of gambling when if you saw me sitting in a machine, you would likely think to yourself that I look like somebody going through a root canal versus enjoying myself. And understanding that about myself and learning that about myself is what has led me to constantly reiterating on this channel that you need to have a plan, you need to set boundaries, you need to never gamble more than you are willing and can afford to lose, and you should always be prepared to lose every single cent of it. You know, whatever happens in the short term, in the long run, you are absolutely going to have losses. That's gambling. So focus on the fun, not the wins or losses. So I told you in the beginning that I would share a bonus tip. But before I do, if you found this information valuable, I would absolutely love it if you would hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell. It really does help out the channel tremendously, and I can't thank you enough for doing so. All right, bonus tip time, and this one is a super simple one. I really just want you to keep educating yourself about gambling. I created this channel to share all kinds of information, and part of that is certainly going to involve educational topics. But you have a wealth of knowledge right there in front of you with YouTube. It's an outstanding resource for all kinds of different gambling education. The only thing I'd ask of you is just stay away from those that try and sell you that they know a secret to always winning. Those folks are lying to you. Don't buy it. It's terrible, terrible advice. With that, that's going to wrap it up for this week, folks. But before I go, as always, please remember that cruising is awesome, but it's even more awesome when you're cruising on a discount. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.